Welcome to the Open Waters podcast, where we are venturing into the deep of what God is saying and doing through the body of Christ and through Open Waters worship.
Come join us as we grow in unity, relationships, and true intimacy with Jesus. Let's dive in. Let's go.
Awesome.
How's it going, everybody? Just wanted to say hello.
Hello.
Yes.
We're back again with a new podcast, another exciting topic that's pressed on our hearts that we want to share with you in the hopes that you can be inspired to greater worship and just to deepen your relationship with the Lord. That's really our hope. We do Open Waters worship. It's an intimate, beautiful time where we are seeing God do amazing things in people's hearts the second and fourth Saturdays of every month. This month and next month, we're only doing it on the second Saturday. So yes, this week, this Saturday, we are doing Open Waters worship. So you are all invited. You have your invitation. Come join us. All ages, all demographics. We just want you to come join us and have a wonderful time to express yourself with freedom in worship, or to just kind of enjoy and soak. Whatever you're needing, it's time well spent. If you want more details, you can email us at openwaterworship@gmail.com. You can check out all the details, follow the links at Facebook and, of course, Instagram. Josiah, you're quiet over there.
I'm tired.
I know you are. Dragged you into this. It was your idea, and now it's late.
I had to wait for her because she had family come over, and now it's late, and I want to go home.
Okay, let's do this.
But that is not stopping me from being here with you guys. So I appreciate you guys for listening.
All of you watching can see Josiah's awake. I woke him from asleep, actually, so he's super excited. Oh, by the way, I just want to mention this too, Josiah. We have live streaming. I'm so proud of you, your technical abilities. So we will be live streaming on YouTube and Facebook this Saturday.
Just YouTube, by the way.
Oh, sorry, YouTube, no Facebook.
Just YouTube.
Is that from now on? Or just this week?
Just every week. It's only going to be YouTube for forever.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Cool.
awesome.
All right, I didn't know that. So, Josiah, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, today's topic is Dare to Dream.
Yay! And this is also going to be the topic of our worship night this week.
Yeah.
Yes, Dare to Dream. And why is this important to you, Josiah? This is your idea.
Because dreaming is big.
Yeah?
Yep. Yeah.
Dreaming's big. Okay.
No, dreaming is important in your walk with Christ because, just like don't want to give you too much right at the beginning.
He's keeping you in suspense.
So, but dreaming is really important because the more you dream, there's more God can do with you. Because if you have God in a box, He's not going to do much. He's not going to take you for much of a ride if you can't dream of anything. Not saying He doesn't.
Right.
He can still use you, but
Totally. He used a donkey, man. He can use anybody. You can use anything, Lord. You can use me. And I won't sing anymore because I know you don't want us to get tagged. But hey, Josiah, what are you hoping comes from this podcast? Us talking about Dare to Dream.
I just want to see people dream a little bit more. I think a lot of people, they have kind of, I don't want to say not big enough dreams, but they're not big enough. A lot of the time we kind of sell ourselves short for what we are capable of. Especially us people in the body of Christ, we kind of settle for just being a worship leader or being, having good worship. I mean, I know there's a thing with having good worship. It's like, it's nice to have good worship, but I think like as a body, we need to grow and dream and be like, okay, we're going to see revival happen in this city. We're going to see, the Mormons and flock turn to the real Jesus and the not religious Jesus. So, So
how exactly does daring to dream and dreaming tie into worship? I'm just going to specialize it. And then, it's kind of your topics.
I know, but I want you to expand on it.
Specializing in why dreaming is important and as it pertains to worship. You want me to answer first?
Yeah, go ahead, answer first.
As you stare at me. Okay. I think the reason why I think dreaming is really important is because God gave us this incredible imagination. And so many times I am guilty. I am the queen of having done this. I really have worked to discipline my mind not to do this, but I have used my amazing imagination to fear and to be suspicious, even in the guise of I'm being discerning. I have used this imagination to think of all the ways things could go wrong and that kind of a thing. And that does not inspire me to worship God. It does not inspire me. In fact, it takes my eyes off of him. It causes me to think of worst case scenarios. It causes me to put try to control things and put things in my hands and take matters into my own hands and just rely on myself and not God. Whereas when I use this imagination, which was given to me by God to imagine these amazing things with him, then it inspires worship of him. It puts my eyes on him and it opens up incredible possibilities. And what happens when we walk in the possibilities, when we walk in faith, and also when we are walking in the fruit of our faith, well, our hearts turn right back to him again and we want to worship him again. So for me, that's how dreaming really kind of plays into and ties into and inspires worship. Now you,
Gotcha.
as I stare at you.
Gotcha. So, dreaming is one of those things that is kind of required for worship. If you're not willing to have not like vivid dreams, when you're worshiping, maybe you do, I don't know. But if you're not willing to just imagine what you're gonna play and where God wants to take you, in your worship, you can dream of where you want God to take you in your worship. You want to reiterate your question again, and I will answer it directly.
Sure. What does dreaming have to do with worship? And I'm not just talking about dreaming within worship. It can be dreaming in literal worship, but just with worshiping. How does it
dream in worship?
How does dreaming big and dreaming with God and daring to dream, what does it have to do with worship?
Well, when I chose this topic, it wasn't necessarily having to do directly with worship. It was mainly just just realizing you have a calling on your life and that God can use you in any way.
Right.
With worship, it's a little bit more. Just realize that you're called to worship, and then that you've got a plan. He's got a plan for your worship. It doesn't matter if you are worshiping in front of 10 or 20 people or 100,000 people. I don't know. It just allow God to take you and let you dream with your worship and let you dream through your playing.
That's cool.
It's interesting, but
yeah, that's super cool.
But this topic was mainly just to kind of be a call to action for people to start dreaming again, to really take ownership of what they can do with their life and realize that they can do more. Because I think a lot of people, like I said before, they sell themselves short for what they can do. And we don't want to see that in the body of Christ. We don't want to see people's talents cut off prematurely. We don't want to see people not use the talents God gave them. So it's like we said, God gave, he gave the story of the talents to the people. I don't want to be one of the people that goes and buries it. Even if it's just I had got the 10 and I go and bury 5, I still don't want to bury any of them. So I'm going to dream, what can I do with these 10 talents he gave me?
Good.
So it's okay, I can make this into 100 talents before he gets back. So
that's right.
So that's when I say dream, that's what we want you to start doing. It's important because when you start dreaming, people around you see that, oh wow, he's doing a lot with his life, and then you can just tell him, hey, I just started dreaming with God.
Yeah, that's good.
And then it encourages other people to start taking action and to believe that life has a lot more in store for people.
I mean, we talk about childlike faith all the time, and so there are a couple things that I look to a lot of times when I'm thinking of defining different things or kind of creating a filter through which I will, if I come to a really hard concept in the Bible or a hard issue in life, I really try to go back to some of the principles, a filter that's kind of like a principle. And a couple of those things is one, I always think when I'm thinking, okay, something's rough. I read this or there's something going on, or I think, okay, he's a good father. What does a good father do? How does a good father think? As much as I can conceive, he's so much better than I could even, the good that I could think of. But like, we can kind of think about that. And then the other thing I think of is childlike faith. God says you cannot enter the kingdom unless you come to him as a child. So we hear it like simple faith, childlike faith. So I think of a child when I think of dreaming. And when I think of how a child talks about and dreams like of all these, it can be crazy from totally artistic to just crazy big dreams to it's always hope filled. And there's no thought of it's not going to happen, or there's no thought of it's not possible, or that it can't be done. It's just they're just dreaming. They're enjoying joy and hope and faith and just like it's possible. And so I think that's something to think about as we think about dreaming.
Mm-hmm. Just also kind of like another note. When you think of children, you usually think of an imagination, and that kind of goes hand in hand with dreaming. It really requires an imagination to dream with God.
Right.
Because if you don't have an imagination, you're just going to be thinking of, oh, well, I'm going to have the practicals. I'm going to have 3 meals today and gas in my car's tank, or electricity if you're one of those people. But, there's so much more to it. So have more of an imagination. God can do some wild things. Like he shows you even in church services that he can move in wild ways that we can't even expect. Yeah. So why would he in everyday life be different than what he is in church or when you're by yourself? So,
and something else, and I think this was one of your advisors in the tech program that you did to kind of kickstart your career, but like literal dreaming, God can do amazing things with your life. There's so much destiny if we're open and willing, and you have a purpose because you were born for such a time as this. God placed you at this time in history for a reason. You're not born, you're not here on this earth without purpose. He breathed his life into you. And so I'm thinking of this guy that was one of your advisors, one of your teachers, one of the founders of the Bethel Tech. And I just remember hearing his testimony that he literally dreamed or dreamt, one of those. Anyway,
dreamt.
He, whatever, in his sleep. And the Lord gave him, yes, we can.
You got on me about the loop.
He dreamt about, yes, I got it. He dreamt about, thanks, Josiah.
Hey, just want to let you know.
Keeping it real. Got it.
It's because you got on me about the lukewarm. And so I got to get you out about everything. The dreamed.
Content, everything. Okay, so he literally had a dream in the middle of the night, and he got this formula that was a breakthrough for, and it's used now and was patented by Homeland Defense, the Department of Defense. And the Lord blessed him, and the Lord this was an incredibly creative solution. And he had that in his dreams. And I have to imagine that he had to dare to dream that it was possible too. And then in his sleep, God worked with him. And so much happens in our sleep because our spirit doesn't sleep. So like literal dreaming in your literal dreams, it's kind of cool. But then I just think also of just how much opportunity is out there for us that we don't grasp because we don't realize that we're not alone. God is with us and he partners with us. He knows everything and he wants to join us on this journey of discovery. And I love how Sean Bowles will talk about people get afraid of technology, right? But what if we as Christians get involved and dream of the ways we can get involved in some of these areas like AI and some of these things that seem really scary because they probably will be used for not good things. But what if Christians get in there and instead of, and like in other areas of technology, they dream or they create, God gives them the solutions to diseases, or God gives them some kind of creative building, or I don't know, just way of being or living, or
Yeah.
the sky is the limit, right?
There's no limit. You just need to realize that, and you can't put limits on God. Also, I think when you're worshiping God, you got to realize you got to be curious, and so dreaming about it doesn't have to be literally dreaming, but I mean thinking about and having an imagination of who God is and His glory and majesty, and just realizing, ask questions, like dream about the questions of like, what is it to be like without time? Like some of the questions I have come up recently is like, all right, so we live in this thing we call time, so it just the concept of time is so accustomed to us. It's hard to even think of
fathom
what something without even time is.
Right.
Like, because time is just such a big part of our life. Like everybody, you look at the clock every day, every hour of the day, and then you also people think of how much time you have on this earth, and it's like, okay, what would it be like to live in a place that has no time?
Right. And God is outside of time. So
it just doesn't make sense. So it's like things like that. Like, go ask God questions like that, and that spark your interest too, because He'll take you on a journey, and like He may not answer you like, hey, this is how it's gonna be, because we'll know when we get to heaven. So, but it's just good to ask those questions, because it's allowing the creativity in you and the majesty of God's creation come together. So
it's actually kind of a sidebar, but part of the reason why I like science fiction is because it allows me to dream outside of the box, right? It's just, some of it can be funky, and there are people that have strong opinions that they do not like science fiction, but it is something that I do really enjoy, because it kind of allows you to think outside of the norm and outside of the box and outside. It kind of inspires, and it's an inspiration to dreaming. I think one important thing about dreaming too is that we know that what you focus on, you become, or what you focus on is the direction that you'll go. The old analogy, like if you're driving a car, wherever you're looking, that's where you're going to go. And if we're thinking big and dreaming big, and I'm not talking about like The Secret, a popular book and movie, and this whole thing that was brought up like a decade ago. I think I'm right on my timeline there, but I'm not sure. But it's that was more about the positive of the power of positive thinking. And here's the thing. So many things are principles of God, but they're twisted and attached to the demonic or to self-realization and self, instead of pointing us to God and drawing upon the power source of God. But they do hold truth to them. There is some truth, but it just gets perverted by the enemy. So there is truth to what you focus on, the Bible says, declare a thing and it will be. So if you start focusing on things, if you start confessing things, you are literally inspiring. You're changing the atmosphere. God spoke the world into existence. You're changing the atmosphere. You're inspiring, dreaming. You're shifting things when you start to think about the big things, when you start to dream about it, when you imagine it, when you talk about it, all that kind of stuff. But of course, it all goes back to God and you partnering together. It's not you. It's not a demonic thing. It's Him. It's you. It's having a party together.
Well, thinking positively does have actual effects on your body. Like, science proves that if you're just always a constant person, you're always pessimistic.
Yeah.
It literally has bad effects on your body, and
right.
you can do experiments with plants where if you say bad things to them as they're growing, they'll actually wither and die at some point. And then also if you were to actually encourage plants, they'll grow better than if they were just left alone, which is interesting. But on this topic, just being positive is a part of dreaming, but it's not the entire thing.
Right.
But it is important, because I think it does shake atmospheres, and there's just sometimes that you have to do it anyway. Like,
right.
I think a lot of the time this is just purely like thinking and being positive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the times you're in life where you're going to do something you don't want to do.
Right.
And that may or may not be a part of what you dreamed. So when you dream something, there's going to be parts you don't like. So being positive, even in the parts you don't like, it doesn't have to be like anything bad. It just has to be like, just something that you don't like. Like, I don't like organizing. So when I have to be organized, it's like, all right, well,
it's a good
I have
time.
to go do this.
It's a good time.
But
they're so nice and so happy and cheery and
Yeah.
bubbly when you have to do administrative stuff.
I love it so much. It makes me come alive.
Come alive. Yeah. Come alive.
I
Okay.
can't say it on the stream because
I know. I'll get tagged. Okay. Sorry.
those royalties will come after us, Mom.
I know.
I promise you they'll catch us.
Okay. So,
Yeah. I was just gonna say,
yeah.
dreaming big is really important. I wish I could explain, like, really tell people the importance of dreaming. Dreaming helps us go hit our aspirations in life, like we talked about a few weeks ago, with getting into that gutter. We don't want to get into that gutter.
Right.
And with dreaming, it really helps us to stay out of the gutter and stay content and to be happy. Because,
Right.
when you're dreaming, like I said, you're looking forward to something. And if you're doing it with God, that's even better because you and God are looking forward to something
right.
together.
Right.
Um,
And I think it's really important right now, especially because I think there are a lot of doomsdayers out there, and the world has there are hardships. We walked through a few hard years with COVID. A lot of things are happening in our country, in America, where we live, and sometimes we can feel like, ugh, is it worth me dreaming? But our dreams aren't based on circumstances. They're based on the substance of things we may not see, but we are hoping for. And God can do amazing things with that.
That's what faith is.
Yeah. So what are some practices that can help us pursue our dreams and help us to keep daring to dream?
I think a lot of people get intimidated with dreaming. So writing down lists, I think making goals.
Yes.
People really cut themselves short, like we said earlier in this episode. It's important not to do that, especially when it's you're early on dreaming. Like, it's like the beginning stage. It's like, it's way too big.
Right.
You write down goals in a manageable way, things you can do practically.
Yep.
To help yourself toward your dream.
Yep.
And because if your dream is inspired by God, He'll provide the means to. So, but it is your job. It's not just going to land at your feet. You you have to put in the work.
Right.
But He will provide the means to do it. So if that may be energy, funds, whatever.
Yeah.
So writing down a list of things to do, practically in an order that are manageable and
really good.
that is digestible as well. Because I think a lot of people, when they think, goals, okay, my goal is the dream. Well, that's not a goal. That's a little bit that's the end goal.
Yeah, be a little bit more specific.
Yeah, but break it down, because you don't want to be overwhelmed by your dream. You want to be encouraged by your dream. So
yeah, I think too, not just writing the list, but actually being disciplined
to do it.
And maybe that's benchmarks, but like where you actually have action steps and stuff like that. But actually being disciplined to kind of follow through with some of those goals, and like have dates, have action steps and dates.
Writing dates are important. I think a lot of the time, like if you don't put it on a date, you won't do it.
Yeah.
Or also, I think it's written down. Okay, forgive my heresy.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. No, it's not heresy. But somewhere
hypocrisy is the word you're looking for. Just like
no.
What? Okay, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say no. I don't know exactly where it is in the Bible, but it does talk about being accountable with somebody helps you to perform. Not necessarily in that language, but
what do you think a heretic means? He smiles broadly, and then there's silence. Phonics.
I need to go back to preschool.
Heretic is somebody who is like doing something that is totally against Jesus. Like it's
I
against
know.
the church.
That's what I thought it was.
Well, hypocrisy is when you're telling people to do one thing and you do a different
No, I'm not a hypocrite.
thing. Okay. I don't think you're a heretic or a hypocrite, just for
I
the
was
record.
trying to make a joke.
Okay, hilarious. Ha 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 ha. Everybody.
I don't need to be hooked
That's
on
so funny.
phonics.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So the other thing, well, like while you were
I'm
talking,
gonna start getting delirious here in a second.
you're going to get delirious?
Yeah.
Aren't you already delirious?
No. So when we recorded it, we have a couple podcasts we do, and one of the podcasts, the entire group of people doing the podcast got delirious. Anyway, it was
that's right.
it was
I remember
really
that.
funny time, and
we died laughing.
we couldn't get the other recordings done because it was we started
we
breaking down.
Died. Josiah was doing a
Why you gotta
thing.
say that on
I
here, bro?
won't. Okay.
I'm gonna have to delete this now.
Bruh. Okay, when you were when you were talking, seriously, I just had this thought drop into my head, and I know it's the Holy Spirit. And I need to do this. Like I need to do this.
Yeah.
Create a time and space for you to just sit and dream with God.
Mm-hmm.
God, what do you like? Just sit, be quiet, and let Him drop things in your
Mm-hmm.
spirit.
You can ask questions like, God, what is the biggest thing I can do in my lifetime?
Right. And okay, we love Bethel, Bill Johnson or Chris Valentin. One of them says, I think it's Bill, but he says, if it isn't, if you can do it on your own, if your dream means you can do it in your own strength and you can do it on your own and it seems attainable, it's not a dream.
It's not big enough.
It's not big enough. It's not a dream. It has to be something that is not possible without God. So, just an FYI, if you have not had those kinds of dreams, then go create that space and place with God and dream and allow Him to drop things.
Write
in
it
your
down
spirit.
too, so that you
Write
are
it
not,
down.
Don't forget it, because I think
that's
a lot
the
of the time-
accountability.
yeah, and then speak it into the air too to people
Yeah.
around you.
Yes, like
people
you
that
said,
trust.
accountability.
Don't speak it to obviously don't go and tell random people on the street because they don't care. But tell your friends and tell people you trust, because
Ones that know
they're
your heart.
that they'll keep you accountable. Yeah.
Yep. I think also obviously it's kind of obvious, but stay connected to God. Why would you want to
That's an
dream
easy
apart
one.
from Him?
Come on.
He is everything.
Come on.
Come on.
Easy.
And then you said a good support system. I think those are some good tips. You got anything else?
Just all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think as an action item, I would just say, number 1, pray about dreams.
Yeah.
And if you already know it, leave it down in the comments.
Yeah.
Or just email us, because if you don't want everybody to know. Or just be like, I have dreams. I have a dream. Leave I have a dream down in the comments. But we really just want you guys to start dreaming big, not just like I know when people say dreaming big is like, aim high, shoot lower. I think with God, you can aim high and you can hit really high.
Yeah, totally.
So,
100%.
God, if you challenge God, He's always going to come through more
Creator of the universe.
than you could expect. Yeah.
God who lives inside of you, greater than
Inside
anything in the
of
world.
us.
Okay, so I do have another question though.
Sure.
What are some barriers to living out our dreams?
Well, the obvious one is fear.
Totally. Yeah,
That
was number
one's
one on
kind of
my
a
list.
given. That one's pretty much the main one. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people, everything stems off of it. It's like a big giant root.
Right.
Because with fear, you can ask yourself, it makes you start asking questions like, is this goal too big, or is this goal even worth writing down?
The
Because
doubt moves
this might
in.
not be, even plausible in my lifetime. Or
Right.
I'm nobody significant, I can't do anything to change even my neighborhood.
Right. That was my thing. You're right. Fear branches off into hopelessness. It branches off into the victim mindset, which says little me, big world, or little me, big impossibility, instead of
Yeah.
little hurdles to cross, me and this big God. So I agree.
You got
with
to
that.
realize you're just the person with the lion behind you, backing you up.
Yeah. Living inside of you,
and I
behind
think
you.
when you start doing something with your life. Maybe you started a career for the first time like I did, and you realize how much you can truly get done.
Yeah.
When you actually put your mind to it and you stop messing around and you stop just pretending to have zero capacity to do anything except for your 9 to 5 and your kids or your worship time, you have the capacity to do so much more.
Right.
If you feel exhausted, well, then take the time off and just let God fill you.
Yeah.
If it's the dreams that you're working on with God, He just gives you so much more capacity to get stuff done.
Totally does.
And things will come into alignment even though you may not realize it.
Yeah.
And I think, again, your capacity is much larger than you think.
Yep.
You can get so much more done than you think you can get done. And you have, I mean, as cringy as it may be to say, but you have the ability to change the world.
You are a world changer, history maker.
You could be the next Billy Graham.
Yeah. You could be the next Tesla. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
You could be the next amazing writer, producer, actor. I mean, all the things, inventor, scientist, all sorts of things. And God can give it to you in a dream. I just want to reiterate that.
And I don't want to stop what God is doing through me because I doubt myself.
Right.
There's going to be already a whole lot of doubt coming through me, but am I going to hold on to it is the question.
Right.
And I'm not going to hold on to it. It's not mine to keep.
Right.
I'm going to be like, okay, God, here it is. You're going to sit there with open hands. So God, you can give to God what's not yours and you can receive from God what He's giving you.
That's right. So I think the other piece of the fear that kind of it stems off is just a lack in the trust of God, in trust of God, which you talked about. I think you just said it. It's thinking of yourself too little. And then there's also thinking of yourself too big. It's where you don't recognize your weaknesses when you look to yourself for everything. And sometimes that works to a point, but then ultimately it's going to fall down. And so I think that's a pitfall and a barrier to actually dreaming. I also think busyness. This is one that I fall prey to so much. I get busy with so many of the mundane things. There are some things that you have to do in life. Yeah. They're responsibilities. They're priorities. They're good things. They're God things. But then there are other good things that are not necessary and not God things. And there are things that are not good things.
Do you need to watch that TV?
That's right. That you fill your life up with, that I fill my life up with. And before I know it, I'm so busy doing this, I can't do the thing that I really want to do.
That third coffee per date with that person?
Right. Yes.
This week?
Right.
Do you need to read that 7th book to this week?
Right.
Or do you need to spend more time with God and read His Bible?
And create space and place for you to dream with God for the impossible and for things we can't even dream of without taking the time to dream with Him about and imagine.
Yeah.
So I also think unresolved trauma is going to be something that also keeps people from believing, because that is one thing that children, there are many children who do have trauma from even in the womb, but for the most part, children are very resilient and they do still have the ability to dream. But when trauma happens, it kind of cuts off the creativity. It cuts off the ability to dream because you've seen bad things happen. You've seen, would be seeming like God didn't come through, or you've seen the people die, or you've tried and had the failures but the risks that have not panned out. But the reality is that you have to deal. That's true. If it's unresolved, then it can hold you back. Whereas if you've had trauma, you deal with it, then you can usually move.
We also touched on it a little bit ago, but standards from parents can also affect that too. Because a lot of the time you see it in different cultures. Like some parents really value, you need to go into this type of career.
Right.
I think a lot of people also think like dreaming it has to be career wise or monetary. It doesn't. It can be a relationship with God. Like how deep do you want to get with God, or how deep do you want to get with the people around you?
Right.
How many friends do you want to have? More than 0 if you have 0.
I hope that's not true for anybody.
I hope not.
Eek,
but if
we
you
need friends.
please let us know we'll pray for you. Or just let us know. We'll go to coffee with you at some point if you need a friend.
You got a friend in me. That's all I'm going to sing. Go ahead.
It's like trying not to sing the rest of these lyrics is like
stop yourself. Okay.
Hold back the flood.
Hold back. We crack ourselves up.
We think we're funny.
We do. We are.
But yeah, like I said, I think some cultures hold their kids back and they can kind of shut down their dreams because they give them no creative freedom to what they want to do with their life. And I think
control totally tears down freedom. This is why we don't like communism. Part of the reason why
we don't like communism.
Cuts down creativity.
Yeah.
Free will. It's all, God is all about creativity and free will.
Yep. He's going to force you to love him, but he wants you to love him.
Yeah, for sure. And dream with him. Okay, so is there anything else you want to say on the topic of
No, what's your next question?
I don't have another question other than letting people know a little more about us.
Oh.
A little more about us.
Please let us know in the comments if you want to know more about us or if you want to skip
Of course you want to know more about us.
And go to more content.
Who wouldn't want to know more about us? Just kidding. So wait, Josiah, seriously.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you have to say on the topic? I just want to make sure because this was your heart. You are a dreamer. Entrepreneur, dreamer.
As long as let me know in the comments if you guys understand that dreaming is big because dreaming is massive. We want you to understand that because dreaming is one of those things that if you don't dream, you're going to get complacent where you are and you're going to get stuck in a rut. Right. It is important to dream for movement to happen. Yeah. Plants, if they thought, they probably dream of getting big and strong like a tree.
Right.
And so it's our goal to be a seed in the spirit to grow into a nice big plant for God.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to stop to get to a place where I'm no longer dreaming because I am very happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
I am happy where I'm at, but I'm also not going to be complacent where I'm at and get because when you stop moving, that's where things go to die.
Right. That's right.
And I don't want my progress in life to stop. I don't want my progress with my relationship with God to stop because as soon as I stop thinking that as soon as I stop being hungry for more of God, that's when I start falling out of love with him. Is because I won't ever want to get into the presence because I've got enough of God already.
Ooh.
So
good.
Yeah.
So okay, I do want to let people know. So sure. I think we're good with that. I don't have anything else to say. So little mo about us because I think it's good for people. I think it's fun. So
again, let us know if you want us to skip this. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding,
don't
guys.
Don't let us know.
I'll let you know everything about me right here, right now.
I don't want to know.
Right here, right now.
Yeah, okay.
I'm 20 years old.
I'm going to be 21 in December. Woo-woo.
21.
Okay. Anything else?
What else is there about me?
You're an amazing, fine young man.
I'm not a bad person.
He's handsome.
All right.
And like Matthew, he's single, but he's pursuing God with all his heart, soul, mind, and strength. He's a songwriter. He's anointed.
I try to write songs.
Keyboardist. He's knows how to play drums. He's an amazing drummer. I am so inspired by him. He's an entrepreneur. I'm proud of him.
I'm working on that.
He's got a soft heart. He's an observer. We talked in the last podcast about our testimonies. That's a really good way to learn more about us. I probably notice more than
I tell you guys.
Yeah. I just remember when we went through a lot of hard times. You totally do. He was there watching. I'd have tough conversations with your older brother and even your younger brother because he asked a lot of questions in some of the toughest times in my life. And you would always just stand there and be observing. So yeah, Josiah is pretty amazing. Okay, but I wanted to let them know.
Watch nothing else.
Quick question.
What's a question?
Dog or cat person?
Ew, this is a nasty question.
It's terrible, Josiah.
I'm sorry. If I offended you, again, let me know in the comments. I will give you a dislike.
Don't let us know. He wants comments. I don't want comments.
I want comments because I need somebody to talk to.
Poor Josiah.
People all around me. Anyway.
Another song. Okay. Yeah. Dog or cat person?
I am a dog person by far. I can stand around cats for a little bit, but I will get a little bit of an allergy rise up in my sinuses, in my throat. My throat. I will not want to die, but
right.
Oh.
Okay, so
life will start declining.
What am I, Josiah?
She's the same.
I am. I'm a dog. I'm a dog person. Okay, so I love all animals, and it's really hard because cats love me. But even just last night, I stayed somewhere and they had cats, and my throat just started a little itching. I've been better, but so that kind of created an aversion to them. But I also you hear like cats are those that you come home and
Knock
they're
stuff over your table.
They're like, they don't care if you come home, and dogs are like, here I am.
Yeah.
You're home. I love you. The world revolves around you. And so
that's what I've always thought of is like, what cat is like really excited to see you?
right.
There's some, I won't say
There
not.
are some real sweet
There are
ones.
some really sweet cats.
Yeah.
But most of the time, your cats are just not super social. And I
Take it or
prefer-
leave you.
Yeah.
They don't care, it seems like.
In kids' church a while ago, it was
Yeah.
it was said that cats think they're God and that you're the servant, and then dogs are the other way around, that they're
Right.
the servant and you're the God.
Ooh, what does that say about me, Josiah? Ooh.
Hmm?
But you want your animal to think you're God and to serve you? Oh.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, that's what it sounds like.
No, but it's more of like they love you because
I know.
they love you.
Right.
But then cats are like, they only love you because you put the food on their table for them.
Right. And pet them when they want to be pet. But anyway.
Actually, that's really judgmental because I've never owned a cat. So if we're wrong, leave it in the comments. Yeah.
All right. So there you go. A little more information about us. If you have any ideas for topics, then please let us know. And
We
then
love
we
you.
want to invite you again to worship this weekend with us.
At noon.
You know where to get your details. We'll be live streaming on YouTube, like I said.
YouTube.
Yeah. And then you can follow us on Instagram at Open Waters. Oh, open underscore waters underscore worship.
Instagram.
Yes. And then we
Facebook is at Open Waters Worship, all one word.
Right.
And then what's our YouTube?
I don't know what. Open Waters Worship.
She doesn't know what I.
Dude, Open Waters Worship. I did really good on all that.
Open Waters Worship in Google, and there will be search results for Open Waters Worship. We will be like, I think it's like the top 4 options are us. So,
Woo. Okay.
if it's our website, it's under construction. I'm building it right now. I'm working on a couple of sites right now.
Yay.
So hold up. It's gonna take a second.
Hold that thought. All right.
And then, I mean, if you guys didn't know, we do host our lyrics on there every week.
Oh yeah.
Missed out on last
And
week.
Spotify has our. Oh yeah, you can go into Spotify and get our
Yeah.
songs for each week that we do the Open Waters.
Yep.
So
if you
cool.
want to be listening to what we're listening to, go to our Spotify, link in our Instagram bio with our linker page. It'll take you to a page with a bunch of links for you guys.
Yeah.
So make it super easy.
Okay.
Alrighty. We'll catch you later.
Till
Love
next
you guys.
week. Bye.
Bye.